What's up, everybody? So I already filmed this video once, but I was filming it in the dark, and ultimately I got it all edited down. But the thing is, DaVinci for some reason decided to take a dump on my project, so I couldn't export, and something with the cache files or something, I don't know. But this is take two. I just want to bring it all back to speed where we were on the last video. I don't want to rehash too much of it, but at the same time, you guys don't know anything about it, so I guess I might as well just re-say everything. I was telling everybody the story of when I was in high school, or I had just graduated high school actually in 2017, and I spent that first year out of high school just playing Rainbow Six nonstop, probably up to like 8 hours a day on some days, just being a total, I guess the Japanese word would be hikikomori. Yeah, so that's what I was doing. I just spent so much time playing video games. I didn't spend any time thinking about my future. I didn't spend any time thinking about what I was going to do for a job or for a career or how I was going to provide for a family. I just kind of, the overwhelming fact that I was graduated now and the world was essentially my oyster, but I didn't take advantage of that. It kind of just overwhelmed me, and I didn't take advantage of the opportunity that I had at that time, all that free time. I wasn't even in college. I wasn't doing anything. I just was having this gap year that I didn't even intend. I just realized after reaching level, or I guess rank 100, whatever it is in that game, I don't even remember what it's called anymore, but I reached that triple digit number right there that I had been aspiring for so long, and I realized I need to go get a job. So I went ahead and did that, but that job also, it didn't solve any of my problems. It just continued to compound the fact that I didn't have any direction in my life. I was just kind of floating from job to job. I couldn't even tell you how many jobs I've had at this point. But at that time, it was very tough to find out what I wanted to do. I had joined college at that time. I was going to nursing school. I had switched majors from electrical. I was just following, what my dad was telling me. But living that kind of life, living that kind of just do whatever you're told kind of life, it doesn't bode well for your future. If you're just doing every time somebody tells you what to do, you don't even think twice, you just do it. It's not the best way to conduct yourself, because at the same time, you have to know what's best for you, and also you have to kind of lay out where you want your life to go. You have to give it some critical thought. You can't just expect everybody to make those decisions for you. And I think I was just waiting at that time for something to just fall in my lap. I think I was waiting for some divine revelation or something like that, that, oh, this is exactly what you need to do, and I didn't give the proper thought to what I really wanted to do with my life. So fast forward to now, I'm working a decent job, I suppose, and I have a wife and a kid, and now I don't have any free time. And now, even if I did have some bold decision that I wanted to make and some bold strategy for my life or some fancy career path that I wanted to choose, my time is very limited now. I couldn't just turn around and become, an astrophysicist or a neurosurgeon if I wanted to. I'd have to give it some serious dedication. I'd have to make some serious sacrifices in order to reach that goal. Now, why I say all this is because, circling back to what I was saying in the last video before the files got corrupted, all that time that I was playing those video games and all that, I had all this desire. I'm a musician. I'm an artist, I guess you could say. My dad likes to call me a struggling artist or a starving artist, but I wasn't even doing any art. I was making things. I was testing things. I was, kind of slapping stuff together and not really polishing anything off or really doing anything with any sort of thought to how I want others to perceive it or how I want to present it to others. It was all just kind of for my own amusement, and I kept it very close to my chest, and I didn't decide to just go for it and make some art, even if it was bad. I didn't even do that. I made beats and I made videos, but I didn't put them out anywhere. And I do have a few songs on SoundCloud that I've just put out over the years, but that's also kind of a byproduct of me feeling like it's not finished. And I guess that's what I want to talk about is sometimes I think artists have this kind of mental block that we don't want to release something into the world until it's absolutely perfect. And I think that's where I was. I was constantly doing little tests and stuff with video. I was setting up the camera in my room all sorts of ways. I was changing lighting. I was changing my setup with my computer and whatever else. I don't know. I was just making excuses for myself in order to not actually go through with it and actually sit down and record a video like I'm doing now. If I could go back and just start and just sit down with a camera and just start talking about who I was at the time, I think I would have really appreciated it now, knowing full and well what kind of person I was back then. The only time capsule I have into that time from when I was a kid, when I was that teenager, that like angsty, emo kind of, I hate the world kind of guy, is in my journal. That's the only place that I really see who I was. And I'm thankful that I at least wrote that. Even though I'm not that same person, I wasn't walking with Christ back then, I still appreciate reading that and seeing how far I've come. And I think that I would have really appreciated also seeing videos. And I do have videos, and I'll splice some in here. I was just doing silly things. I was setting up a camera and I was saying stuff like, this is a comprehensive test, This is a comprehensive test. And, I've changed the lighting from here to there, and, I'm testing it. How is it going to look? Hey guys, I'm just testing out the new lighting arrangement I have. I turned off the backlight, I turned off the top light, and the Christmas light. I didn't give any thought actually to what I wanted to say. I didn't give any thought to what the motive of what I was doing was. And I think in the end, it kind of came back to bite me because I didn't actually ever do anything with it. I am thankful though at the time when I did have free time that I spent some of that time making music, and I do have something to show for it. I didn't just not do anything with it at all, which I'm thankful for. But this is why I'm sitting right here right now, is because I'm thinking I want to output. I don't want to just input. I don't want to sit on my couch every day after work and watch other people do YouTube, watch other people make videos for YouTube that I want to be making. And this is the first step for that. So I actually did record this video a couple days ago. What is it, the 24th today? So I recorded on the 22nd. I was up at 6 in the morning and I was real gung-ho, like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna walk out into the backyard. The lighting was terrible, audio was fine, but ultimately it didn't work out. But here I am again, because in the face of discouragement like that, you have to have persistence. You have to know that this is something you need to do. And this is something that I'm convicted I need to do. This is something that needs to happen. This is something that I need to pursue. I'm too worried about perception, or I'm too worried about polishing or whatever, that I can't actually output anything. That needs to stop. That needs to be something that doesn't bother me. And I want this to be that. I want to be able to just sit down, make a video, and just put it out. So yeah, when I recorded that video and sat down on my computer to edit it, and the file got corrupted right at the finish line there, I was really discouraged. I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do now? It's like, is there something in the universe telling me that I shouldn't do this? And you have to really assess, in that case, what is the benefit or the downfall of doing something like this? What am I going to gain or lose? And what would I do instead if this is not something I should be doing? And I had to come to that realization. What am I going to do if I'm not doing this? And I'm literally just going to watch other people do what I want to do. And what benefit is there in that, And I was just saying in the first video, I don't want to give this another year. I don't want to just scrounge away another year, not actually go through with what I want to do. I think in those moments where something goes wrong, or, that kind of when you have your pedal to the metal and then a cylinder goes through the block or something like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? I've been working on this car forever, and I just rebuilt the engine, and now a cylinder has gone through the block. What am I going to do? Are you going to be the guy who parks that car in the garage and never touches it again? Or are you going to be that guy who just rebuilds that engine one more time and just goes back out on the road? How is this any different? And how is this any more difficult? This isn't. If I'm just going to sit down and just blab and yap for, what is it now? I don't know what timestamp this is going to be, like 6 or 7 minutes. If I can't just sit down and redo it, I love to talk anyway. What's the problem? Why couldn't I do that? Ultimately, when a project starts like this, it's important to have a goal in mind. And right now, I don't necessarily have a goal in mind for this channel or for what I want to do with it. But, the topic of goals is so tough to kind of even unwrap. I live in California, Southern California, and you get a lot of these guys out here who kind of live their lives in this, I guess the word is out of fashion, but it's very hipster-esque. They kind of spend their lives roaming from place to place, doing thing to thing, and not really getting anywhere. I knew a lot of guys back when I was taking electronic music class in college, and we had a guy in there who was in his 30s, and that was kind of crazy because I think we were all in our very early 20s, if not teens, late teens. And he was saying, "Yeah, man, I'm 32 or something like that." We're like, "What the heck, dude? What? You're still here. You're acting like a 20-year-old, like with us. What's going on here?" I think ultimately those kind of things catch up to you. I think they sneak up on you. When you don't have anything that you want to do, and you're trying to just kind of pursue kind of like touchy-feely things like, this is really what I want to do, I think, so I'm just going to pursue it. I don't really have any direction or tenacity. I'm kind of just going to wing it and take it day to day. And, I still live with my parents, so it's fine. Or maybe I live with like 5 other roommates. And some people really like that kind of life. But personally, as somebody who values family, somebody who values consistency and structure and a foundation, I couldn't see myself that way. So I was hanging out with these guys in college who they didn't even have prospects, even in their music careers or anything like that. They thought that it was a hype session when the college would host some sort of like musical expo, and they're all dancing on the dance floor to each other's music, hyping each other up. "Oh man, we made it, we're doing our thing here." It's like, dude, you're going to a community college in Rancho Cucamonga. Like, come on. What was the goal there? And what was the goal there for me when I was taking that class? I did learn a lot. I did become a lot more aware that I enjoyed doing electronic music. I did enjoy being in the mix with music and all that. It's a gift of mine. However, at the same time, I had to realize that a step of maturity needed to take place. And there I was, not really taking the time to actually do that. And it took me a long time to come around to that, where I did a lot of hurt, I did a lot of pain to myself by not realizing that sooner and taking so much time to just kind of chase the earthly pleasures, And I think I had created a pattern in my mind at that time where I would try to pursue something for a couple days, and when it didn't work out exactly the way I wanted to the first time, I would just kind of put it to the side and let it collect dust until I got impassioned again. You hear about this condition where people get all motivated at 3 a.m. to fix their lives. Yeah, of course you're going to get motivated at 3 a.m. to fix your life, because that's the time when you can't. That is the least opportune time to fix your life. Of course you're going to get motivated at 3 a.m. But ultimately, I look at everything that happened, and I'm thankful that I learned from it. Some people go through this kind of thing and they never learn anything. They just continue on in that pattern of behavior. I think I had to realize that this doesn't have to be polished. This can be as raw and as intimate as I want it to be. I can chisel away at it until it's something beautiful, or I can just do it and I can just put it out there and see what the Lord does with it. It's a windy day right now. I don't know if you could tell on the tree there. Probably not. But I have my little fuzzball here. This is an old Zoom from my dad's collection that I commandeered. Hopefully it's been okay with the wind here. I was giving myself all these loops and hoops that I needed to jump through. For example, I was like, I can't start making videos until I have a lapel mic. And then I just remembered I have this thing. Why not just do it, Those kind of prerequisites that I established for myself that are completely needless are laughably unnecessary. You look at some of these super successful guys on YouTube and all they're filming with is their iPhone. Hopefully in the coming weeks I can put out a video, maybe once or twice a week. I'm thinking more like once, because I don't know what's going to happen with these videos once they're in DaVinci. I hope it doesn't take a dump on me again, but I do want to put out more videos. I want to talk about things that are on my mind, on my heart. I've recently started a journal. So, just picked it up at some stationery store. I don't remember where, somewhere in LA. I think it's very important to document what you're thinking about, and that's actually going to be a topic of a video that I make. And if you guys want me to talk about anything, go ahead and put them down in the comments. I'd really like to hear from you guys, who you guys are, if this resonated with you, if you guys are even watching. Like and subscribe if that's your thing, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.